Hey, y'all, welcome back to the Late Night Vision Show. This is episode number 93, and I am Jason, owner of Outdoor Legacy. And as always, I've got my sidekick, Hans, from the Hans Texas YouTube channel. What's going on tonight, buddy?
Hey, Jason. Hey, take two of the intro was much better than the first one. I'm glad everybody didn't have to hear that because...
yeah, it was pretty...
It was pretty bad.
Well, you know, this is one of those nights where we're living up to the name. It is late. And it is the Late Night Vision Show. We're starting very late, and I am just thinking about all the things that I've got to do tonight, and I know that it's going to be 2 o'clock before I go to bed, but that's okay because the viewers and Hans won't give us a week off, so
that's right.
we're gonna trudge through. And you know, this week is going to be one of those shows that's going to be a little different, and I think it's going to be a show that you know, our loyal listeners, which we do have a lot of guys out there that I know listen on the podcast apps and on YouTube every week. And for whatever reason, I guess they're really bored and they don't have enough hobbies, but they come back every week and watch us and listen to us. And I know there's a lot of those guys, and we really do appreciate them. And this is going to be one of those shows that, you know, Hans and I have got some things we want to talk about. We're going to shoot the bull about a couple different topics. And it's not one of those things where somebody that, you know, is coming here looking for some, you know, new information on the hottest, latest scopes. It's not going to be the show for them. This is just going to be something where, you know, Hans and I are going to shoot the bull and talk about some topics that we're interested in and some things that are Hans has been going on with recently. So anyway, let's dive into it.
Don't downsell the show now. I mean, it's going to be a great show.
Oh, it's going to be a good show. I just think it's not going to be one of those shows that the first guy, if you've never listened to this show and you come in here and you're like, oh my gosh, this is just some guys talking about hogs and coyotes, you know, that's sometimes we do that on
the show. We talk about it all. Everything Late Night Vision Show talks about thermal night vision, hog, predator hunting. We do it all, you know, and we've got some scope reviews that are coming up. We're waiting for some new scopes to come in so we can test them and review them, and we've got all that coming up. We've got some interviews too that we're going to be doing, but it is very late, and I'm going to tell you one of the reasons is my daughters got home and said, hey, we want to go to the Daddy Science Fair thing at school.
What?
It's a Daddy Science Fair deal. So yeah, this was last minute. So I take them up there, and they have you make like these paper airplanes and stuff, and they have contests throwing them. And let me tell you, man, I am a world-class paper airplane maker.
You're a world-class of some. I can think of a few things.
World-class airplane maker. And I've bragged about it to my kids for a long time, and they know that I think of myself in high regard to this. So they held all the dads make a paper airplane, and we had to get up in front of everybody. And there was lots of dads there, but we had to get up in front of the whole school, and we had to have this contest. And I made mine, I mean, perfect. Just the edges were creased out perfect. And I looked over at my daughters. They're way out in the audience, and I'm like, oh, my God. I hope that I can live up to all the hype that I've been telling them over the years, how good I am. Let me tell you, I gave this, my buddy Patrick was there, a good hunting buddy, and we got kids that are in the same grade. I told him, I'm pretty good at this. So it's all about technique and the way
this is something I didn't even know. I didn't know that you were world class.
And it's all about technique. It is the way you design an airplane, but it's technique and the way you throw it. So let me tell you, I sling this paper airplane, and I'm watching it. It is going far, and it's going fast and straight. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm about to show out in front of all these kids and all these, people here watching. I watch as that thing does a 180-degree turn and boomerangs right back to me. And I look over, and all the other dads' airplanes are flying all over way far out there. And I embarrassingly reach down and pick up my airplane that landed 5 feet in front of me.
Well, if the point would have been to build a boomerang, you'd have won.
Exactly. And I walk back to the chair with my head slumped, and my kids are embarrassed because their dad was the biggest wimp in the whole place that couldn't make their airplane go further than 10 feet. So that was my night before
I have
the podcast.
so many questions about this.
Yeah.
So many questions.
Yeah,
about
I did that, and then we made this experiment where you put these, where you put this little tablet in this solution and it makes it kind of explode, kind of like putting the Mentos in the Coke bottles, and it kind of just explodes.
Oh, right.
Well, you know me, I'm talking while they're giving the instructions. I'm talking to my buddies about hunting. No joke. Talking to my buddies about this coyote hunt that we're about to talk about right now. And I was telling them how it went, and I wasn't listening. And I only put one tablet in instead of two, and you put it in this little plastic container and put a lid on it, turn it upside down, and put it on the table, and it explodes and shoots straight up in the air. I only put one tablet in. Everybody did theirs. All of them popped at the same, and I'm talking about 100 of them. There's a bunch of people that are doing it. 100 of these pop at the same time. All the kids are like, "Woo, that's awesome." Mine has not done anything. And the guy's like talking and goes on and start talking. 3 minutes later, after everybody's gone off, mine pops up in the air, almost hits a teacher, and everybody's looking around like, what is going, this guy's thing, what did he do wrong? And again, kids were embarrassed. But anyway,
I tell you what, next time you have one of these deals, let me go. Your daughters are beautiful little girls, and they don't need to be embarrassed of their dad. I need to go up there and show them how it's done. I'll at least listen.
I can no longer claim to be a world-class paper airplane maker. But hey, I want to say, I want to give a shout out to last week. I talked about that I went to the was going to the Ducks Unlimited banquet in Sulphur Springs, Texas, and met a fan of the show, Mr. Jace Thompson. He was there, come up, said hi, said he was a fan of the Late Night Vision show, watched all the episodes. So I wanted to say hi to him and thank him for coming up and saying hi and listening to the Late Night Vision show. You are one cool cat if you're listening.
So there was one guy who knew who you were. Did you wear that Sharpie out? I was just curious.
No, I didn't. I didn't. But it was a great event. Lots of shotguns. I'm looking for.
Tell us how many you won. How many did you win?
None. I can count them on a zero, a big zero. But I did put down some money, a good amount of money, and didn't come home with anything. But I was looking. I'm not a shotgun guy. I've got them. I dove hunt from time to time, but I'm into the rifles and stuff. They had some rifles, but nothing I was, dying to have. But it was a fun time. So thank you, Mr. Jace Thompson. Great event. Good to see you. We got to talk about hog hunting, and he invited me up there to go hog hunting with him. So I probably have to take him up on that. Yeah.
Man.
Hey, I'll go shoot hogs anywhere. Well, I'll take that back. Not anywhere.
Not anywhere.
I have my boundary limits, but he's still in East Texas. But also, we had the Conway Farms Predator Hunt Contest this weekend. And, man, it has opened up a huge it has opened my eyes to the whole tournament crowd because it's a big deal, and a lot of teams that travel around and do this. I want to say professionally, but it kind of seems like that way. That how many teams are doing this and traveling all over the state, sometimes all over the country to do it. But I want to thank Tucker Conway putting on a great tournament. My other teammate, Mr. Blake Davis, we were missing Monty. Monty didn't make it this year, but we had a good showing. So. We were the only team that got every animal that was on the list. So we shot 3 coyotes, a bobcat, a fox, 2 raccoons, and a boar. And we covered the gamut, but we did not win. We really didn't even come that close, to tell you the truth. But Tucker, he specifically told me, he said, "Hey, man, on the last week's episode, you didn't talk at all. I heard you say a couple words, and that was about it. That old Jason talks the whole time." And I said, "Hey, this week's show is just for you because I'm going to be talking a lot because I had a lot to say about this contest."
I'm going to be over here filing my taxes or something. I'm not. Yeah, the contest. So I want to talk a little more about this. So this is, and we mentioned this before on the show, but this is a 24 hour contest. Now, when I hear that there's a contest and it lasts 24 hours, I think that means you have 24 hours to actually compete in this contest. No different than I've heard of some of these contests that might last a week or a month. Hans believes that you have to be awake and hunting the entire time. If he was to enter a month-long contest, I think he would eventually die of, lack of sleep, because he thinks you've got to stay up and hunt the whole time. And this boy ain't doing that.
We hunted hard. Let me say, last year we took a 1 hour nap. This year we did not take any naps. We knew that we saw, we didn't see, for East Texas, we saw quite a few coyotes. They were hanging up way far away. It was a real bright moon. It was hard to hide. But we did fairly well. I was proud of our effort. And like I said, we hunted really hard. I don't know exactly what place that we came in out of 23 teams, but we were not in the bottom half of the competition. A good team out of West Texas won it. They had 17 coyotes. They were far and above the win, as far as numbers, way ahead of it.
But they didn't kill those in East Texas. They hunted.
No, they come
north or west.
Yeah, they were from northwest Texas, and they traveled all the way here. So I'm glad they were in the contest. They did obviously a fantastic job. And
17's a bunch.
17's a bunch, especially East Texas. We don't even see that many coyotes in a night.
No.
And the ones that we got, we worked hard for. We put in a lot of effort to do so. So I was happy with what we did, but we did not rest at all. We did not sleep. The guys promised me a nap. I'm still a little bit bitter about that, but they wanted to. That's what happens when you hunt with guys that are a lot younger than you are. But they we knew that we weren't doing as good as we needed to do, so we kept pressing on, and we made, gosh, I can't tell you how many sets we made, dozens of sets in that night, and we probably saw a total of 7 or 8 coyotes. We killed 3 of them. We missed a couple that were 300 yards away. They were a long ways away and running. So everyone was hard to get to. But hey, I want to congratulate the winner of the Outdoor Legacy drawing for the free site Mark Wraith, Mr. Grant Becker, who was the lucky gentleman that got their name drawn out of a hat. So he won the free site Mark Wraith for the raffle that we had. But I came home empty-handed completely. Just
well, he went home empty-handed too, because we actually had sold out of race. We had to give him an IOU.
Tucker said it'd be the fanciest IOU that you've ever gotten, and
it was fancy. But we will. We're going to get him a wraith. We've got some that should be coming in by the end of the week, and we'll be back in stock. We'll be getting him a wraith very soon. So that's awesome.
But we had a huge turnout. I mean, 3 or 4 times bigger than we had last year for the Conway Farms Predator Hunt. But man, so I started looking at some of these, because now I'm like, we've got to really up our game if we're going to compete in some of these big tournaments. We're just some East Texas hog hunters. The only time we are shooting coyotes if one's stupid enough to come out when we're trying to call hogs. I mean, really, we never go out and say, tonight we're only coyote hunting. So everything's focused around hogs, where we are just not a ton of coyotes. But man, some of these tournaments, you can win some major money. So I'm looking right now, the West Texas Big Bobcat Contest. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. I didn't know it existed. I actually found it a few months ago, somehow accidentally online, and that is insane. Tell them the deal.
So it's obviously a big bobcat contest. So the major payouts are for the largest bobcat. First place, I guess this was this year's results.
What's the heaviest bobcat?
Heaviest bobcat, heaviest bobcat. So first place paid out $50,000. For the big bobcat. And they paid out, first place was $50,000, second place was $28,000, third was $21,000, fourth place was $14,000, and fifth place got $7,000. And the biggest bobcat, heaviest bobcat, was 34 pounds, and the fifth place bobcat was 30 pounds, only a difference of 4 pounds. And they paid out over $100,000 in payouts just on big bobcat.
Do you know how long that contest goes? I mean, it's more than one night. I mean, it's like is it a month or a week or a?
That's a good question. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
I know this. I know it's not just like a night. I mean, it's a while. You have a wild, but golly, that's crazy.
And they also had jackpots for most gray fox. A team got 94. Most coyotes was 37 coyotes, and most cats was 5, and they all paid $7,000. But man, there are so many tournaments. This is tournament season around here. There's a lot of tournaments going on. Hog tournament. I think we're going to have a hog tournament at the end of April. So, Jason, it is not a 24-hour tournament. I think it's going to be more like an 18-hour tournament or something.
Who's putting this on?
I think Conway Farms in Murchison.
Wow.
Yeah. So
okay.
I
hadn't even heard of that.
It hasn't been official. Yeah, it's not officially announced.
It's official because you just announced it.
But we're definitely thinking it's going to happen. There's such a huge turnout for the Predator one. A lot of people wanting the hog tournament here in East Texas. So I think we're going to do it. But I got to see what Mr. Jason wants to give up this time around. I think we're going to raffle off a free guided hunt with Mr. Jason Robertson, Outdoor Legacy owner.
Come on down.
Yeah, free guided hunt. So
you've already roped me into giving away a $500 rate. What's this going to cost me? As long as we're not giving away a Envision Halo LR or something, then we're doing okay.
So we've got that coming up. But you've been talking about, and there's a lot of people that call in. It was a month or two ago, but calling in for specific scopes for a big tournament called the Eastern. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, no, that was in January.
Okay.
The Eastern. I'm not super familiar with it, but I know a lot of our listeners are, and it's going to be. I'll say something be wrong, but it's the Eastern Predator Calling Contest, and I know that's east of the Mississippi, and it is a very big hunt, big money payouts. And I mean, these guys, it's amazing. I don't know how many guys were in this thing, but a bunch. I mean, I just had so many guys calling and saying, well, I need to get this scope by such and such so I can, hunt in the Eastern. I'm like, good gravy. I mean, I just kept hearing that over and over. And I was like, there's got to be a lot of people. But, this is getting to be a big deal, and there is money. I know that Glenn Guess, a friend of the show from Hog Zombies, Glenn texted me the other day and was showing me the Wise County in North Texas there. They've got a big hog contest, and it's based on weight. And I believe I had the stuff in front of me earlier. I was looking at it. Basically, I think it goes for, I don't know if it's a couple weeks or a month. It's a while. But it's a heavy hog contest. And first place was $30,000.
Where did they get? Where did they get all? I mean, it's got to be from entries.
It's just entries. It's that many people entering. And hang on, let me see if I still got this thing pulled up. I'll try to look it up right here real quick. So yeah, here we go. Hang on, let's look at the heaviest hog. Here it is. I'm sorry. Get this pulled up.
While you're looking up while you're looking that up, I'll tell you. So we had side pots for the heaviest hog, and obviously it's just a one night tournament, but heaviest hog was 215 pounds. I'm sorry, not 215. 244 pounds was heaviest hog. The heaviest, biggest bobcat was 25 pounds. Heaviest coyote was 43 pounds, and obviously the biggest stringer was 17 coyotes and 2 bobcats. So I mean, we had some pretty good sized stuff. 244 pounds is not a small hog, but Jason was saying, what about all those 300-pound hogs that are living in everybody's backyard in East Texas that everybody takes pictures
exactly.
of?
So here you go. This thing's been going on for a while now. And the heaviest hog is 308 pounds. The second heaviest hog is 303. The third is 299. I mean, and the contest is still going. So here you go. It's been going for a while, and the heaviest hog's basically 308 pounds. So all these guys that man, I killed a 400 or 500 pound hog. I got them all over my place. Well, man, you could go win $30,000. You got to enter this contest.
I mean, even if it costs you $100, at least you don't. It's just like the Ducks Unlimited Banquet. You're not going to win anything unless you play. So you got to play, take a chance. But with these big payouts, that opens up these teams that are basically professional that travel around and do that. I'm talking about, on the coyote hunting deals, the high rack trucks,
Yeah.
with the speakers all around them and everything.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you something else that opens up, and I mean, I'll say it. And if anybody has been involved in any kind of a contest, and I don't care if it's a little league, if you put $30,000 or $50,000 or even a lot less than that, you start getting that kind of money, people are going to cheat, and that is my concern.
Oh, yeah.
Glenn texted me and he said something about, showed me those payouts, $30,000 for first. Yeah. And I don't know, he made some comment about, odd enter. I don't know what he said. And I said, I wouldn't waste my money. I said, because somebody's going to cheat for that much money. And I was being sarcastic, and you don't like to think that, but good gracious. I mean, it's enough money to make, a dishonest man will he'll try to get in there, and hopefully he gets caught if he did. But that's a lot of money.
But, these traveling teams that go around, and they have rigs that are for coyote hunting with high racks and everything. And, we're talking about these tournaments, and with the West Texas Big Bobcat tournament, the Eastern out on that, and there's so many more, I mean, that we're not even mentioning and talking about. But the reason why we highlighted a couple of these is because the crazy payouts that they're coming up with. But, we were coming into a time where, especially when the Eastern was coming around, they were calling about specific scopes, and we did a show that on our favorite, thermal scopes for coyote hunters, and one that was always popular, obviously, was the Pulsar Trail XQ50 at 2.7 base magnification. Now you got the Pulsar Trail XQ50 LRF. But now moving into 2020, there's some favorites that are kind of been moved out, discontinued, or moved on, and we've got some scopes that are kind of replacing that for coyote hunters. And one thing I want to talk about, is that Pulsar Thermion XM38 is going away this year. So that 4-power base
is going away now.
Yeah, it's gone. Not to mention that FLIR 530, the PTS 536 is gone. That's a 4-power, another favorite for some of these guys that are entering. Because I remember they would call us and be like, I've got this big coyote hunting tournament. Oh, yeah. And let me tell you, hog hunting is very popular for us because we're from the South, and that's what we have a bunch of them, so it's popular for us. But nationwide, coyote hunting is way more popular. Just think about it. There's no hogs all over the country, but there's coyotes everywhere.
That's right.
Coyote hunting is way more popular, nationwide than hog hunting could ever be. So these guys were calling up, and they knew the scopes that they wanted, but now those scopes are gone.
It's been really, really tough, and I don't know what we're going to do. We're in a tough time. So Hans mentioned it. The Trail XQ50, the non-LRF version, 2.7 power, very popular with coyote hunters. It's gone. It is still available in the laser rangefinder model, which is going to be good. I'm glad that's there. Then, we had the Thermion XM38, which is a 4-power scope. It's being discontinued. There's a few of those dribbling in right now, and we'll probably see those for just a little while, but I mean, tiny, tiny numbers of those, and then it's literally going away. You said it, the 536, which I think is probably, arguably the most popular thermal rifle scope for coyote hunters. And I mean, it is. I had so many guys calling. Right. I had a guy call the other day that between him and his buddies, they've got 5 of them. And he called me and he said, man, I want to buy a third. And I was like, a third? He's like, well, I've got my kid hunting. He said, now I got my wife hunting, and I've got another kid coming up. He said, I want to have a third one, and I want a 536. And I was like, well, have you heard the bad news that FLIR's no longer making these and selling them to hunters? And he was like, dude, what? He was just absolutely blown away. And he was like, that's all we use. And I'm like, don't know what to tell you, So anyway, that's a big, big blow to the coyote hunters. So right now, and that is a phone call we're getting a lot, is, hey, I'm coyote hunting. What do I need? I want some magnification. Yeah. You can go up to the Thermion XM50, super popular. It's 5.5 power, which, to be honest, for Hans and I down here in the South and hunting, even the big fields we hunt, you could get by with it, but we just don't need that kind of magnification. And so it's hard for us to imagine, but man, I've sold a lot of those things, and guys do love them. If they're shooting out there a lot over 150 yards and on big fields, open country, they really, really like them. So that scope is still around.
And I'm surprised, you and I talked before it really started coming out, but I'm surprised at how popular it is because, man, it's hard to keep those things in stock because
we can't keep them in stock.
People are calling for them and asking specific. They love that 5.5 base magnification on that Thermion XM50, and it's a great seller.
It is. It really, surprisingly, I've sold more of those in the last 6 months than I thought I'd sell in 2 years. I mean, I really just did not expect it.
Right.
And I think one thing, and I don't know that everybody knows this, but it has made it, when I kind of get on the phone and people ask about it, I can explain it. I think it probably helps sell it. Is that if you compare that scope, the XM50 is 5.5 power. The FLIR PTS 736 that's now gone, it was a 6 power scope. So you would say, they're basically the same. But there's two key differences. One, the FLIR 736 was $4,795, so it's $4,800. The XM50 was $3,800, so it's $1,000 less. I will say that the 736 had a better image quality just because it had a huge 75 millimeter objective and that boson core. But here was the big difference, and the reason the 736 was never a good seller. It had a 16-foot horizontal field of view at 100 yards, whereas that XM50, you're looking at around 24 foot. Well, 24 foot is the same field of view that the PTS 536 has. So you think about it, if you're just, that field of view is very, very important. When you get it too narrow, you can't do anything. Well, that XM50 is operating just like the 536. So that's basically allowed it to sell a lot. So kind of going in circles here and talking about scopes that are gone, but the XM50 is a good option. Coming out, it will be several months, but the Pulsar Thermion XQ38 and XQ50, a 2.5 power and a 3 power respectively. Those are going to be very popular. We've got guys already throwing down $100 pre-order deposits. I mean, and that's the coyote hunters. I mean, they're on the 3 power. Most of those guys are like, I'd like to have 4, but this is better than nothing. And maybe I don't need 5. And so a lot of guys are moving that direction. But I do admit that 2020 is going to be a more trying time for coyote hunters if you're wanting that 4 power, because those options really just aren't going to be there like they were. You're going to have to get down in that 3 or kind of get up above it.
Yep. Or if you like, the Envision Halo LR, obviously it's much more expensive, but it's the best you can get on the market at 3.5 power, 640 resolution on a BAE 12 micron core. And I mean, most beautiful image that you'll see in a thermal, but a lot of, and those have been selling like crazy too here lately.
We've sold a lot, and it's a $7,500 scope. And I think we can't not mention the Trijicon Mark III 60 millimeter. That's a 4.5 power scope. And I know a lot of coyote hunters that just absolutely are in love with it because of that magnification and that same BAE. But you're looking at $9,000 for that. So that's a commitment. I mean, don't get me wrong. All these scopes are a commitment, this kind of money, but it does make that Halo LR very enticing for somebody in that price range at $7,500 for sure.
And I talked to a guy, and this is the first time I heard it, but he actually preferred coyote hunting with a night vision scope. That he actually preferred it. He liked the Sightmark Wraith because it's the magnification, the base magnification on it, and he said where he is, in the plains area where you can see a long way, he's got a real high powered sniper hog light, IR light, and he can see an ID at 800 yards with it, from where the conditions he's hunting. And he said he preferred it. He said he can see better with it now. I mean, we can have discussions.
Spotting with thermal?
He's spotting with thermal. He is spotting with thermal,
but
he
makes
prefers
more sense. Sure.
And he prefers, because he finds them at the thermal, but he prefers shooting long range with that sight mark Wraith, which right there at the 4-power range. It's a great unit for doing that. I actually used it in the coyote hunt, but I actually used it during the day. Or I do use it during the day. So I just like to be able to record and have some daytime footage with it. We did not shoot any daytime coyotes, so that is our we are not set up, and we kept saying it the whole time, we are not daytime coyote hunters. We do better at night. We only, for the 2 years in a row, we only shot coyotes between 12 a.m. and 6 a.m. 2 years running. We are not good at hunting during the day. The problem is, we don't hide very well, and our camo game is not on point. We're out there.
He didn't tell you he's calling from the truck. Got the truck
calling from the truck.
Down.
We're driving the mule right up to our spot and hanging the rifles right out of the mule. But no, I told them I'm going to buy a $300 Cryptek camo set, just like suit that all the pros wear next time, because we're just standing out there like sore thumbs and blue jeans. And last year Monty, one of our guys, he was wearing denim blue bib overalls out there. So I have to give Monty a hard time because he wasn't there this year, but it's we got to get our camo straight.
So you're telling me you weren't looking like James O'Neill and O'Neill Ops.
No,
you weren't camoed into the brush. And
in East Texas, all of our camo, none of the camo that we wear is matching. So you got a different color camo top, different color pants. The hat's a different color camo or different style. But that's
East Texas for you, though. That's that's the way it is.
How it is. But with the scopes that we talked about and the options coming out, we're still a ways away from those XQ Thermions coming out, and that's been the big buzz about them announcing it at SHOT Show. People calling, and we're having to say, it's still several months out before those are starting to hit the dealers. So kind of the coyote hunters and hawk hunters that are waiting for these scopes. Y'all aren't the only one that are out there hanging, waiting on them, because the dealers are dying for them right now. And I know that we are wanting to get anything we can get our hands on.
Yeah, we need inventory. And the other thing is we get a lot of these questions. I mean, I'm just getting them daily. And it's how does XYZ scope compare to something that's not yet released? And it's like, we cannot tell you. I mean, I know there's people who will. I know there's guys who'll say, oh, well, it's better because I can tell you what it looks like on paper. And yes, we've looked through them in convention centers and when we were up there in Mansfield at, Pulsar's facility. But we, until we get it in the field, we just can't give comparisons and say what it's going to look like. I mean, I can tell you what I believe it's going to look like, but we can't make comparisons. So I'm ready to get my hands on them. And this is the time that it's like, a kid waiting on Christmas for us. Cause I know they're saying like May and June for these new XQs. And so that's a ways. I mean, it's going to be a while. So we just got to sit back and wait.
We've got these AGM scopes that a lot of people are talking about. I know that we're getting our hands on a few models here very soon that you and I are going to be testing and some binoculars.
We'll have them before this show airs, hopefully. If UPS or FedEx doesn't drop the ball, we'll have them in 24 to 48 hours for sure.
So we're going to take some time. Jason and I are going to hunt with them. We're going to take them out, use them out in the field. Jason has already given me permission to drop mine off the roof. And so let's see if he's still, because he wants me to put it through the ringer. He wants me to put it through the test.
We're going to put him through the ringer. I mean, we've got to. I mean,
he said he wanted me to drag mine behind the mule to see if this thing can take some damage.
I want to be clear. I want to back this up a
little. You heard it here first.
Here's what I said. I said, I want to drag it behind my Ranger. I'm the guy paying for it. I want to be the guy that ties the rope to it and drags it around and then see how it works. I don't want Hans to do it because at the end of the day, I end up with a tore up scope. Maybe I want to be the one to do it. I don't want.
He wants to be the one tearing it up.
Well, exactly. But the problem is that I'm getting him first to test, so he's got to get him second. So he's going to be the one to try to probably tear him up. But I'm serious about it. We got to put them through the ringer. We got to see what they're going to do. And I'm being a little facetious, but not. I mean, I want to simulate several months of use of just, banging them around, dropping around some, see how they hold up and see what they do. Cause we're excited to get our hands on them and see.
Yeah. So stay tuned for some AGM, hopefully some good AGM talk here pretty soon.
So. Well, I hope so.
There's no bigger fans of them wanting to be good than Jason and I, because we definitely want to be able to share them with everybody and put people in them. So that's kind of what we're focused on right now. But hey, this has been Coyote Tournament Hunting Talk this week on episode 93 of the Late Night Vision Show. Again, our team did very well. We didn't win, but, at the end of the day, it wouldn't be right for us to win our own tournament. That's what I keep telling myself to make myself feel better.
Whatever makes you feel better.
Whatever. But it was a great time seeing everybody there. Got to meet a lot of new people. A lot of people watch the Late Night Vision Show. They watch all the videos, and they watch the Hans East Texas hog hunting and coyote hunting videos on the YouTube. So it was good to meet them, and next year we'll get them. That's we're actually gonna put some time and practice in this year. I think I'm gonna get together with those guys and my teammate. We're gonna come up with a better strategy.
Well, I was getting live updates from Hans. He was texting me and
he told me to stop. He told me the live updates though needed to stop at 1 a.m. because that's when he was gonna go to bed.
Exactly. And about 12:30, I said, "What's the latest? I'm going to bed."
I want my last update for the night, and it wasn't looking good at 12:30.
No, it was not looking good. I was getting up to go to church the next morning. I got up and texted him, and I was like, I was pleasantly surprised they'd killed a few more things, so it was looking better.
We did good between 12 and 6. That's our prime time. But hey, again, want to thank all those guys for showing up. It was a great turnout. Thank you, Outdoor Legacy, for being one of the sponsors, the title sponsors of the event. And there will definitely be a next year because we've grown this tournament a lot, and so we want to thank all those. And hey, if y'all are out there doing the coyote hunting tournaments, hog hunting tournaments, it's a great way to meet other people that enjoy the hobby just as much as you do. And it is very competitive, especially if there's a lot of teams. There's a big chance that you don't win something. But, man, I tell you what, the experience that you get from doing something like that, the fellowship with the other hunters out there, it is a community, whether you're coyote hunting or hog hunting or both. It's a community of people that share the same passion, and it's good to be able to be in front of those people from time to time, and it's just like, when you go to church and you have fellowship at church and you get a chance to become a family with the people that you go to church with. It's the same thing in the hog hunting community. So it's a good time, and I would encourage anybody out there to, if you've never done it before, put your buddies together, sign up and enter some tournament. It doesn't have to be a big one, but just try it. Just try it once. Jason, I'm trying to talk Jason into it. Hopefully he'll do the one in April with us, the hog hunting tournament, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
He said, my complaint is the 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. And he's like, well, it's only going to be 18 hours. But somehow I think that the 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. is going to be included in there.
No doubt. But hey, if y'all are interested in purchase anything night vision or thermal optic, please give Jason a call at 877-350-1818. This show would not exist if it wasn't for Outdoor Legacy, not just because we have a co-host that actually that owns the company, but they're the ones. You and Outdoor Legacy fund this show, which there's a lot of manpower, man hours, time, production cost, and we went to Vegas just to put together a show, or I went to Vegas to put together and produce a show, actually several shows for this podcast. So thank you, Outdoor Legacy. Again, if you're interested in purchasing anything related to night vision or thermal, please give Jason a call. You can find the website at outdoorlegacygear.com. Again, the phone number 877-350-1818. You will not find a company, I think, that has better customer service, and people call us all the time and ask questions. And again, I know I've said this before. You may not buy from us. That's okay, but we would love to have a chance to earn your business. And I know that after the end of the phone call, you will at least gain something, I hope. Some perspective, some knowledge about what we're talking about. Jason and I are passionate about hog and predator hunting using night vision and thermal. And we test all this stuff, and we test all these optics. And I think that you'd be hard-pressed to find a couple gooder boys to talk to. Does that sound right?
Gooder boys. Yeah, from East Texas, we're gooder boys.
We're gooder boys to talk to than the good old boys like us to talk to. But so give us a call. And if you want to find the Late Night Vision Show, all the past episodes are on www.thelatenightvisonshow.com. You can also find the Late Night Vision Show on Instagram, also on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube. By the time you watch this episode, Thursday, February, 12th, 13th, somewhere around there, 13th, I will have surpassed 10,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
So 10,000 subscribers. I want to thank everybody out there. I know there's a lot of people that are subscribing to this, to my channel on YouTube. Also watch the Late Night Vision Show, and they're coming over and subscribing. So thank you all very much. 10,000 subscribers is a big deal. It happened very fast. But please go check out the YouTube channel for that. Also on Instagram, Hans ETX. And Jason, where can they find you, bud?
Well, they can find, as you said, already gave the phone number, the address, and you can find me on Instagram and Facebook, YouTube as well. We're so busy. We're just really not, doing justice on social media right now. We're spending all of our hours on the phone, replying to emails, producing this show. So I'm putting most of my time into the Late Night Vision Show right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
But we definitely, as things slow down, got some plans for some social media stuff, and YouTube will be getting back into it. But yeah, you can find us there, and we do appreciate y'all for coming back every week and listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say one more thing. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm wearing a hat from the boys from North Texas Crop Protection. And I want to thank them for giving this fancy hat. You can't see it, Jason. You haven't seen it yet. But it is, it's got a leather patch on the front.
Man.
And North Texas Crop Protection, you remember them. They were
I do.
Were they our first guest or second?
Chicken Strips was our first.
Okay, they were our second guest on interview on the Late Night Vision Show. Good boys from North Texas. They sent me down a nice hat. And I'm wearing it right now. So give it. You can find those guys on Instagram, NTX Crop Protection. So give them a follow and a nice little hello from us over here at the Late Night Vision Show.
They're good guys, absolutely. Yep. So folks, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in, listening to Hans and I shoot the bull, and we had a good time. We hope that you enjoyed it, and we hope that you come back every week. Please subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And we will be back next week. We've got some big things planned in the coming weeks, and we're excited for some of the episodes that we know will be airing. So check back every week. And as always, we ask you to stay safe in the fields and keep making those bacon pancakes.